Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Yiwen. Well, like many other artists, I am obsessed with art supplies. It's like a guilty pleasure of mine to try new supplies or different brand of supplies and draw with different medium. And over the past few years, I have made a lot of purchases and tried them. Some of which were great purchases, others, not so much. So I figure it could be interesting to put together this new series on art supplies to hopefully help you make better decisions when it comes to purchase art supplies. And welcome to the first episode of Oh My Supplies. So today we are going to review this is a very affordable watercolor set. And we're going to do a cheap art supply challenge on this. This is by MozArt. It's a 24 color watercolor set. So let's get started. So this is a watercolor set from MozArt. It came with this tin, 24 color. I had this for a while, but honestly, I never really enjoyed using this at all. This is the swatches, and you can see the color looks vibrant, looks fine, but if you touch it, it feels like really granular. But my biggest problem with this set is that it just, like watercolor, the most enjoyable thing to do, like in my opinion, is the blendability, right? Like you see the paint flow, and then blend together. And this set just really hard to blend all the colors. Let me just show you real quick. So this is what I created. I really don't want to say I created this. It's ugly. I was just running some tests. So at some point I was like, oh, I'm just gonna give up. I don't really enjoy using this paint at all. So you can see I try to do wet on wet technique, but the paint just won't blend together. So it won't mix well. And I ended up kind of using it more like a gouache way of using it. I don't know. It's I was so frustrated, so I put it away. Haven't really touched it ever since. So today I'm going to challenge myself, try to see if I can create anything better than that piece by using this cheap set. So I have sketched out an octopus, maybe kind of like playing billiards thing. So there are some issues with this sketch for sure, but I'm not gonna bother to change it right now. But I just want to test this paint again. By the way, this is Arteza Watercolor Sketchbook. I used this for a while. The paper seems to be decent quality. And I created some other octopus painting like this one. And it seems fine. This is another watercolor set by Kuratake. It's a Japanese brand. I love that watercolor set. So if you're interested, I will link the creating process for this painting on the screen so you can go check it out. But my point is, the paper for this sketchbook it's not bad at all. So if it's not the paper, it could be the paint. So I'm gonna give it a try and see how it goes. Even though my last experience for this wet on wet technique didn't go quite well, I think this time I am still going to do a wet on wet technique. First, use some clean water to wet the paper first. So right now I'm doing the background first. I typically do the character first, but this time I just kind of want to do the background because as I'm testing, I kind of want to see the quality of the paint, just kind of refresh from the memory again. even though it wasn't pleasant last time. So that when I paint the octopus, I'm more prepared. All right, so let me take a look at the color chart again. Usually I would draw the swatches on a separate paper so I can always have it handy, but since I don't really use this paint that much, I just didn't do it that time, like this time. So I'm gonna use some blue. I use a very light kind of blue. Think I'll try to make some green as well. There are some color like expansion, but still not much. I don't know, it just didn't really like flow like it's supposed to be. Didn't really wet this area, but I'm just gonna use some light blue, wet it, and then I can add green to it. I'm just gonna keep this piece like relatively loose again. Maybe somewhat similar to like urban sketch kind of style, because you know, with these kind of paint, it's hard to be accurate. You see, this is really wet, but then if I lay paint there, it barely like moves. I don't know what's going on with it. Maybe the pigment is heavy or something. It just sits right on top of the paper where the spot. It moved a little bit and then stopped moving. I am going to add a little bit green just so it's not boring. And you can take a look at the, see, it sits right on top of it. It won't blend. Oh, this is annoying. You have to push the paint. Now I regret adding this green now. It's okay, we'll make it work. I think I'm pretty much, I mean, not 100% done with the background, but like almost. So I'm gonna let this dry. The background is dry now. I am going to do some line work. I'm using sepia color Indian ink. I couldn't help it. I wasn't gonna fix the problem right here, but then I decided to change things up a little bit. So now I have to go back and fill the background color. It's not ideal do it this way, but it's fine because I'm not trying to be realistic, obviously. I'm just doing a very loose urban sketching slash comic-y kind of style. Somewhat similar to the other octopus painting that I did, but not the same, obviously, because of the quality of the paint, just very different. It's like day and night kind of different. All right, it's time to do some octopus coloring. Again, I am going to wet the area that I'll be coloring. I am going to start with some very light color. You see, I'm really trying to do wet on wet technique, it just won't work. Like, I'm all about like affordability when it comes to painting because I buy a lot of supplies, but it gotta work. I mean, I guess it could work if you're going for some like different sort of style versus just like pure watercolor. The paint just don't have that watercolor that kind of quality, so it won't move. If it won't move, I don't think it's watercolor. It can call it something else, but no. So with the hatching, it came out quite interesting. I think I got carried away doing the hatching. I typically don't add this much of texture. So what I'm gonna do is that to add another layer of paint. I think this paint does cover some of the line work, so we can tone it down a little. So yeah. When I started this painting, I was going for some sort of a cute look. Now, I don't know why, but it looks like with all the like ink mark and stuff, it looks kind of evil. This is interesting. So, I don't really like it. I don't know, it's just the color was fine on the swatches, but when you mix it all together, it becomes this muddy, not that vibrant color. I didn't really put any like dark tone right here or cool tone. Yeah, I'm not surprised that this painting didn't come out right. Again, like if you compare the octopus painting that I did last time, like I probably apply like several layers. I need to check the other video to give you an accurate number, but as you can see, the color remains very vibrant on here. But this one, even though I pretty much use the paint as it is with very like minimum mixing, it came out really like muddy. I don't know what to say right now. I'm like really sad because sometimes when you create good artwork, like you're just happy, and now I'm like super I'm gonna try to add some highlights. I don't think at this point it matters that much at all, but just kind of want to see, like, I think at this point I no longer cares. Whatever this becomes, it becomes, right? So yeah, so I'm like, oh well, just another failure. Art is always about keep trying, fail, you learn, and you try again, you fail again, and then yeah. Well, apparently this didn't came out well at all. I'll just show you the close-up. The textures are interesting, but it's probably gonna take me a while for me to use this set again. To summarize, this paint runs about $13 to $15 a set, which is pretty affordable. in terms of the value, I think if you're willing to spend a couple more dollars, you could get a much better quality of paint with some other brand. My major concern for this paint is that it doesn't flow well with water. And also, I think the color had a hard time remaining its vibrancy when mixing with other colors. That said, I think you might be able to get away with it by creating some simple art. For example, creating an abstract like background for lettering. Or you can somehow figure out how to use its cons as advantages, creating a specific look with this paint. But overall, I wouldn't recommend this for beginner because it might be a little bit challenging for them to really understand how to use like watercolor. Well, that concludes our today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I post art videos and music videos on a weekly basis. Please feel free to like, share, or subscribe and turn on the bell to see new contents from me. Thank you guys so much. Bye for now.